Our next session is Efficient Acquisition, Creative Strategy, and LTV. Kate Foster won't be here, but in her place is Joanne Sulit, CMO of the Outset, and Jacob Rokeach, CEO of Fluency Firm. Please welcome them to the stage.
Hi, I'm Jacob Rokeach, the founder of Fluency Firm, and we have Joanne here. We're going to talk about marketing in the Outset, which is the brand that Joanne works at and is the CMO at. And I'll tell you a little bit about me, and then we'll jump into the more exciting stuff and let Joanne tell you about her and the Outset. So I'm Jacob. I spent 15 to 16 years now in D2C. Started off in entertainment marketing, so working for Sony Pictures and then Hulu and then NBC Universal. And then jumped into e-commerce and was at Anina Bing for a few years running all the D2C channels, and then went to KKR, a portfolio company of KKR, running 3 fashion brands, and then started Fluency Firm. And so we're a growth marketing agency, and we work across the whole lifecycle customer journey, doing performance marketing, lifecycle and retention, growth, creative strategy, and then growth consulting. And so the Outset is one of our brands, and so we're going to talk to Joanne. So tell us a little about you and how you got here.
Sure. So I'm Joanne Sulit. I've been in beauty my entire career for the last 20 years. I'm not going to give you the exact date to date myself, but I have worked on brands as large as Biore and Jergens to also smaller niche brands like Caudalie. And then, here I am at the Outset for the last 2 years, where we've just kind of been growing and growing and growing, and we love working with Jacob and the Fluency team. So this is really exciting to be here with you guys.
So tell us about the brand story. How did you guys start the Outset, and why is it different in the space?
Yeah, so our 2 founders, Scarlett Johansson, who everybody knows, and Kate Foster, who in her own right is a beauty entrepreneur kind of savant, and has sold a previous brand before starting the Outset. They're both 2 women who have suffered with sensitive skin throughout both of their careers. Scarlett, obviously, on a very main stage. Kate, not on a main stage, but still suffering with sensitive skin. And they've always found it challenging to find products that are really effective, that perform the way you want a product to perform, but for sensitive skin. And so together, they created this brand where really the heart of it is finding solutions for sensitive skin. So finding products that work for a really specific set of people. So we create clean skincare essentials that are powered by our proprietary ingredient hyaluronic complex, made for all skin types, especially the most sensitive. It's a really edited collection of skincare products that are just really effective, made with really good ingredients that actually work.
I think the simplicity thing stands out. So take us a little bit through the regimen and how you guys brand the process.
Yeah, so the core of our collection is the 3-step, and it's really a modern take on what a 3-step solution is. So if you think back, and I'm dating myself again, but if you remember the Clinique's 3-step solution, there's there's a cleanser, there's a toner, and there's a moisturizer. And I think the idea has always been, if you have a skincare issue, like attack it, destroy it, take the bacteria off, strip, strip, strip. And our solution is really more of a modern approach where it's about adding things back into your skin. So hydration is really the key to having your most healthiest skin, supporting your skin barrier. And so that's really the core of our collection. Scarlett says all the time she can do 3 steps in 3 minutes. She's very proud of the fact that she can get out of the bathroom in under 3 minutes. So I think even for a skincare novice that's just looking for kind of the most basic skincare routine.
Like me and other guys, I use it.
We've got Jacob hooked.
I'm converted.
Yeah, so it's so for the most basic skincare routine, we wanted to keep it simple. And then there's all these add-ons depending on how much you want to do in your skincare routine. So we have a night cream, we have an eye cream, we have a detox mask. These are really things that you can kind of add in as needed. Or, if you're using an eye cream every single day, but we're not saying you have to use this 11-step skincare routine to have your best skin ever. We're saying these are the 3 basics. It's really simple to use, but we also offer these really effective additional products that you can use should you choose.
And so tell us about some of the challenges when you're building the brand itself.
So I think for us specifically, overcoming this celebrity stigma, like we're not just another celebrity brand, and I think we launched a little over 2 years ago where there were many celebrity brands that were launching, and we operate in so many ways that it's not like a traditional celebrity brand. Scarlett doesn't have her own social accounts, so we don't have that organic flywheel of people talking about us, through her channels. We really wanted it to be about the product. And one of the things that we always say at the outset is that we love to get actual lead. So we love it when people say, the products actually work. My skin actually looks better, because it feels like we're proving them wrong. So I think overcoming that it's just another celebrity brand versus it's a really effective skincare line, I think that's been the biggest challenge, but we're overcoming it.
Yeah, and so we work with about 10 celebrity brands, and so it's interesting to see the difference of those brands. And you guys do take a different approach, and I think the products really stand on themselves. So I think everybody knows that the celebrity brands out there, and a lot of people are just slapping a celebrity's face on top of a product and hoping that it works. And that's definitely not what's happening here. And you see it in the reviews, and you see it in the LTV of the customers. And we'll talk about LTV in a second, but the quality of the product is apparent, and you see it in the repeat rates and how often people are purchasing and how many people are converting from what they used to use to now coming over to the Outset. So you can feel it in the product.
Yes.
So let's talk about digital marketing for a second. So I think a lot of the people here are sort of marketing and growth, and everyone's thinking about acquisition. So take us through the channels that you guys are using when it comes to digital marketing and just marketing in general, how you're acquiring customers and how you think about that, getting the brand out there.
So we look at, it's really owned, earned, and paid all working together. We kind of look at it like it's a relay race. We all are kind of kicking off, and somebody kicks it off, and then somebody takes the baton, and somebody takes the baton after them. But really, it's the synergy of our team, our very small but mighty team, which is they're amazing, but working together and really creating moments for us. So through Earned, we have our press team and our affiliate team working really closely together. So every press opportunity for us is a revenue generating opportunity for us. Through organic, we've been able to kind of craft a really unique strategy because we have this superpower, which is Scarlett, who's not available anywhere else but on our channels, to create some content, for us and through other people's channels that I think has been really successful for us. And then through paid, we're really focusing on TikTok, Meta, and Google. Yeah. TikTok really being that awareness piece for us, Meta being better for us for conversion, and then for Google, we have this opportunity where we have a international celebrity that is kind of out in the world, and so when she's out and about and doing her thing and she's on a press junket, it gives us an opportunity with search to kind of utilize that a bit more anytime she's in the press.
Yeah. I think, and I don't know if you mentioned this, but Scarlett doesn't have a social presence, and she doesn't have her own social channels, and I think that's one thing that differentiates you guys again from a lot of the celebrity brands. And so we get to use her face in creative, and we get to use her in email and talking to customers, but it's really not the core driver to growth, which speaks a lot to the team and what they've been doing. I think what we've been doing on the paid side, and then retention and keeping that flywheel going. So we have a lot of I'd say evangelists, so customers who have turned into evangelists. The reviews are great, like we talked about, and so I think that's, wouldn't call it an uphill battle, but it's like you said, it's not like every other celebrity brand.
Right, it's not like we have this built-in group. I think we're working really hard to acquire every new customer and every positive review and every customer that, to use a new product. Like, we are making sure that all of the pieces are fitting together. Through paid, owned, and earned, I think, to kind of make that happen. So.
We actually, for everyone who's here, we actually have at the brand bodega, I think on the 3rd floor I saw them, but we actually have some more of the 3-step regimen testers still there. So if you have one of those tickets, go up to the brand bodega, grab a box so you can try it out.
Trial trios?
Yeah,
what is it? The trial trios.
The trial trios, yeah.
Definitely go get a set.
Yeah, then you'll be converted as well. So go check that out. There's still more of them left. Let's talk a little bit about acquisition. So maybe share some insights, and we can have this be a conversation about how you guys have managed to acquire customers efficiently while maintaining that brand identity. I think a lot of brands struggle with having a great brand and something that is core to what you guys are, which you guys are very careful around the brand, but also being able to commercialize it and use it in paid and acquire customers. So talk through a little bit of that.
So for us, it's really important that any opportunity that we get to kind of solidify what our brand is, the why of the brand, we take that into consideration. I think having a really strong brand identity across all of our digital touch points is really, really important.
From the paid perspective, we've been partnering with the team, and I think what we've been really trying to understand is isolating the best elements of the creative. So I think that's something that over the last, we've been working together for 18 months or more now, and really trying to isolate the messaging, that key messaging that's working, along with the creative, so imagery and video, and what resonates with different audiences. So it's like one thing that we've seen that works is that idea, what is it? Radically gentle and sensitive skin. So we've tested out different messages, and we sort of landed on this idea of like radically gentle works great with the audience. They love hearing that. It's not something that we were doing 2 years ago. It's something that we've been testing. You guys had developed some ideas, and we've been testing it, and we see that works. I think the sensitive skin, that idea of sensitive skin, is great. I mean, customers really respond to that from a paid perspective. So we tried a bunch of different messages. We used some of the same images, the same videos, and tried different messages, and we've narrowed in on these key messaging points that work. So I think that's been really interesting, a learning for all of us. I think a lot of brands out there in the skincare space are talking about newness and color, and they're talking about ingredients. And I think for the Outset, people love the simplicity. They love the sensitive skin angle. So that's been a great learning for us, I think.
Yeah.
Using Scarlett, not using Scarlett, trying different product shots. So I think that's been great, and we've been able to stay on brand doing that.
Yeah, and I think working with Fluency, really that testing process is exactly what we needed as a brand, because I think when you look at the Outset, you can say that it's for everyone. It's kind of, we created this product to be genderless, ageless, and universal. And I think sometimes when you look at it that way, it could become like, if you want to be everything to everybody, you can be nothing to nobody. So I think that working with Fluency and really doing this testing process has kind of helped us hone in and like have the conviction around exactly who we are, and like pushing that out as often as we can through paid. I think has been kind of a game changer.
Yeah, and I think the other thing we were talking about this week was isolating that core product that people come in on, so that acquisition product. I think it still continues to be the serums, the serum and the three-step. The prep serum and the three-step process, and which is not that eye-opening, I guess, when you think about it. But there's a bunch of different SKUs, but like always, the prep serum seems to be a great acquisition product, and then the three-step regimen. People want to come in, and that's their first product they're buying. They're buying this three-step regimen, and it's not the cheapest thing on the site, and so it's great to see that. And then it's also a great driver of repeat purchases. So people try the three-step process, and then they want to refill. They want to refill on the cleanser or the moisturizer, and so that's a great retention engagement piece later on.
And making sure that we're communicating that. So in all post-purchase communication, it's reminding them that we do have refills, and they are exclusive only to our DTC. So that is a great retention tool for us.
Yeah, which brings us into customer engagement. So we've been focusing a lot. I think everyone knows that to continue to grow a D2C brand, retention is just as or more important than acquisition. So we've been working with Outset on lifecycle and retention. I think a few things we've learned is subscription is a great driver of retention, and getting someone into subscription is a huge driver of LTV. We do have some customers that actually come in and subscribe on their first purchase, but it's really getting someone in at that second purchase to be a subscriber, and that's been a thing that we've been focusing on. Tell us a little bit about the customer journey and some of the things that you guys have thought about.
Yeah, so like Jacob said, our three-step and our prep serum, those are the key products that we know are bringing people in. So it's making sure that through our paid, we have an evergreen program that's going on where we're talking about that. It's a great acquisition tool for us to kind of do the storytelling, because within those products, like our story is baked in there. the team has done a really good job at identifying all the points where we can do the brand storytelling. So whether it's through our email segmentation strategy or any post-purchase communication that they receive, and making sure that they understand what the additional offers could be. So whether that's refills because they're buying the 3-step and they can make it really easy to just kind of keep on this program, or if it's upselling them on additional products like our night cream and our eye cream and bundling it in a way that makes it really easy for them to buy into and like under a theme so that they understand what is the thing that they're buying into. We try to make it really easy for them to kind of come back to the brand, experience more, and keep their routine as simple as it is. We try to make everything as easy as we possibly can.
Yeah, and one thing that I think you guys do that's great is the refills, I think, are only available on Outset.com.
Only on our website, yeah.
So, I mean, Outset's sold in different retailers, right? So you guys are available in Sephora,
Nordstrom,
Goop,
Heyday.
Yep, and Heyday. So multiple, online retailers and other places in store and retail, but the refills are only available on the .com, which is great. And from an engagement and re-engagement standpoint, we're able to push refills to customers. That's also a great low-hanging fruit for subscription messaging. So, what we've been focusing on over the past, I'd say, six months or more is how do we get those customers who've purchased 6 or 7 refills, how do we get them to come into the subscription? Because we know that a subscriber is, in 12 months is much more valuable than just a transactional purchaser. Mm-hmm. So that's been a great learning and something we continue to iterate on and test. And what is that messaging that makes someone take the next step to subscribe? Did you want to talk a little bit about that engagement through social and how you guys create that community a little bit?
Yeah, so through our own social efforts, I think it's interesting. Scarlett doesn't have her own social channels, so we give the people what they want. They want to see Scarlett. This is the only place where they can access her. Aside from, and they access like her actual personality.
Which is great and funny.
Yeah, she's really funny.
Yeah,
she's really funny. She's really charming, and I don't think that people know that about her. And we're lifting the curtain. They're able to kind of see Scarlett in our habitat, and she's totally open to creating trending content on TikTok. She's learning social as we're doing it, and so I think there's that part of it. There's the creation with Scarlett. I think another thing that's been really interesting for us is kind of using Scarlett to leverage relationships with other co-creators and being able to partner with these co-creators to use their platforms to kind of tell the Outset story, but in their way. So I think a good example is we worked with an influencer, Caleb Simpson, who has a pretty good following on TikTok and Instagram. He's the guy that goes and asks you how much you pay for rent and what do you do for a living. And we invited him to come to our office, and we gave no parameters aside from you just have to tag us in the post. And he came in, he was asking Scarlett, what should my skincare routine be? We were able to kind of include it in the video. And
Didn't he do the 3-step process?
He did the 3-step because I think he was like a bar soap user or something like that beforehand. But so Scarlett gave him his first ever skincare routine. So again, we're making it native to his followers. So it's not, that we're paying for content. It's not that we're kind of scripting this content, but that we're letting it flow for free and they get this access to Scarlett. So that's been a great piece for us. I think also we work with a platform called TYB, which was founded by the Outdoor Voices founder, Ty Haney, which is a community rewards program. So basically you can reward your community for engaging with the brand, whether it's, through product reviews or creating content for us. And I think that that's been really a great way for us to harness this like fandom around Scarlett and make it something that's productive for us.
Yeah. We have about a minute left. We can dig into maybe one other thing on the paid side, and then would love to sort of end our conversation with some of your learnings. But I'd say two things that we were talking about in the back was, how are we understanding incrementality for paid? And it's been a conversation we've been having with the team. And I think a couple of things we've been doing is like really focusing in on the data and trying to understand what is that next dollar worth. So as we spend X amount of dollars, how that next 10%, is it really worth the same amount to acquire that next customer? And so I think the team's been awesome on letting us do some testing. So understanding the channels that we're on. So adding on TikTok, and is that the right place for us to be? Is it incrementally adding more value? Looking at different regions, or different regions, are we able to go deeper in those areas, and testing that sort of incrementality on the new spend. And then the creative. I think you guys have been great with allowing us to push you guys on testing new creative, trying new messaging, new formats, getting outside of using UGC and creators, which we weren't doing before, but trying to get some more sort of like creators, which has been awesome. So I think the team, you guys have been great to work with. It's been really fun, and I think a lot more to go.
Yeah, lots more to go.
But yeah, we're excited. I guess the last question we can leave everybody with is what's been the biggest thing that you've learned? What would you tell anybody here that has a brand or works for a brand or that's doing the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, my biggest tip is trust and empower your team. I don't pretend to be an expert in every single thing, but I hire the best people. So depending on what your brand's needs are, hire a really good team, a really strong team. I use the example of us being like Transformers, like we all combine and then we create this like mega team. We're a very small but mighty team, but I think it's an iterative process, and we want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to kind of try and test new things, but if we fail quickly, move on, learn from it, move on to the next thing, and just trust in your team and keep trying new things.
Yeah, and hiring good people and good partners.
And good agencies.
Self-serving. But I think it's true. You guys, I think a lot of brands, and especially celebrity brands, again, we work with 10 celebrity brands, and I think a lot of them are very protective over everything. They don't want to fail. They don't want to make mistakes because of the spotlight. I think, again, we don't make mistakes as a group, all of us together, but when we do, we learn from it, and I think you guys have been really open to doing that, and I commend you guys for that.
It's a collaboration.
Yeah.
It's one person doesn't make it happen, but it's the power of the team. So that's my one tip.
I think are we cut off? Are we done? That's our time.
Awesome.
Come up. We have a booth upstairs. You can come up, and if you guys don't have a ticket, we can try to get some more. If you guys want to try the product out, I think on the brand bodega on the 3rd floor definitely had some earlier. So definitely come try out the Outset. If there's none left, come find us, and I'll get some to you personally. So I'll send it to your home or anything. So we'll figure it out. You guys have to try the product. It's awesome.
He keeps a stash in his bags.
Yeah. Thanks for coming. Hope to see everybody soon. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.